Hey yo, thank you for listening to this special episode of the Talking Hospitality podcast brought to you by the Schulering Hub. I'm Mauricio Schuler and today we will recap our most popular episode of 2023. Episode 29, Cooking Up a Sustainable Future, when we had an inspiring kitchen chat with celebrity chef and food influencer chef Ondrej Molina from Prague. We dove into Ondrej's incredible career highlights, where his passion for cooking came from, and his future plans around sustainability. Hope you enjoy. Hello, Schulering, and welcome to another episode of our Schulering Hub podcast, Talking Hospitality. If you are listening for the first time, my name is Mauricio Schuler, your host. And if you're coming back, thank you very much for listening, and I hope our content has been helpful. Today we are having a kitchen chat with celebrity chef Ondrej Molina from Prague. Ondrej, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone.
Ondrej, you are a pretty cool dude, right? You have a strong personality. I can see, unfortunately, our listeners can't see you, but you have a very cool personality there, and I know that you put that, and that's why you are building such a great audience. But your food looks awesome on Instagram. My mom is actually following you right now, so it's great to have you here. But let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about you, about how your passion for cooking started.
That's amazing that your mom is following me. Usually chefs have the cheesy story of their mom or grandma being an amazing cook, and they, follow her, try to learn everything from her. My story is quite the opposite, to be honest. The food never been a topic in my family. My father, he's Cuban, and he's been working always very hard. And my mom, she's never got really into food. I was being quite jealous of everyone else eating well and having food as such like a special event, so I started cook more and more, and then I signed up for culinary school, and at the age of 16 they chose me amongst a few others, and they took us to Italy. And that was for the first time when I saw a proper brigade and real chefs, real kitchen. And I tried delicious fresh food, because before that I didn't have a chance to eat something amazing. But when I was in Italy for the first time, I tried stuff like fresh fish, for the first time. Yeah, so that was the thing.
Look, you have traveled the world, sharing the kitchen with renowned chefs. You've been part of TV shows, competitions. And since you got into the actual journey of becoming a chef, what was your most memorable moment in your career?
As soon as I finished the school, I went to England to learn a bit, because my English wasn't. It was all right, but it wasn't good enough. And basically, before that, I didn't have any experiences, so I went to the UK, and that was all right. But 2 years after that, I decided to go to New Zealand. I saved up a lot of money. My parents helped me, and I made this decision to move on the other side of the planet. And I got very lucky. I got the job in the best restaurant of that year, and we're talking about 10 years ago, a long time ago. But I was very inexperienced, and I had the chance to work with the best chefs of New Zealand, so that was a breaking point. And many chefs can relate to that you have many kitchens where there's so much competition, and there's so many people who like to see you going down. This was the complete opposite. I was the youngest guy in the kitchen, Central European, that means Eastern European for everyone. And many the chefs really made a lot of effort to see me growing and then be a good part of the team.
That's awesome. One of my most memorable times in the kitchen was in New Zealand as well. So we shared that. That's pretty cool.
And like you said something about the pressure in the kitchen, and yes, you've been very lucky to have had a very supporting kitchen, because the kitchen environment not always is the best environment to grow. Yeah, I had many problems with the kitchens I worked with, and basically I see that it's a problem, one of the issues we have with shortage of staff today in hospitality, but in the kitchen in general. Do you see these things related in anyhow?
I think the hospitality should become more as friendly environment, like strict rules, but also I think it just in general it lacks care about chefs or about staff in general. I think that the best restaurants are driven well, and they pay so much attention for each of the team members, like little things like a staff meal, when actually you can gather everyone, and make them to sit down for a little bit and have a friendly chat, and eat some food. It sounds such a basic thing, but there's so many places who lack that. There's little details, and then very often you've got the little scuffles and fights between front of the house and kitchen, because they simply don't have a chance to build a relationship. You know what I mean? So someone's making a mistake, and all of a sudden you think, oh, he's or she's useless, But actually, if you have a chance to sit down next to the person, have a nice meal, being served, having a nice drink, and have a little chat, isn't some sort of like opens your eyes, and you can appreciate the effort a little bit more.
Do you think that like having element of education of the staff would be something positive in the kitchen environment as well?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's absolutely crucial, especially when you've got like young chefs, hungry, ambitious to soak up, so much knowledge. And, their motivation is last only a limited time, then they could be easily demotivated and then sort of like move on and try something else, But I always if I can have one advice for young chef or anyone from gastronomy, I always say go to the places which is difficult for you, because if you find it easy, that there's no learning process, and go to the place where someone willing to teach you. So it's massively important. Little things like internship, like being a stagiaire. There's a like amazing place where you actually you earn something, you work hard for that place, you earn them money, you're a big part of the team. I think it's amazing motivation if the company pays you a little internship in some good restaurant, like it doesn't have to be paid 100%, but maybe if they sort out accommodation for you, or maybe if they pay for the flight tickets, that's still I would be very grateful as a young chef if someone would sort out the stagiaire in maybe Michelin star environment. That would be awesome.
That's an awesome idea, actually. Let's share that and get these ideas pumping into the restaurants around. And look, you have been growing now a large following on Instagram, and you have developing your own business that have some learning elements as well. Like, can you tell us a little bit about the projects in your kitchen studio?
Yeah. Basically, this idea came to my head when I was working in Denmark in an amazing place called Fiskebar, and I back then I knew it's great place for me, but I knew I'm not going to be living in Denmark forever. It doesn't suit me in terms of weather and stuff. So I was thinking, like, I love teaching people, and I tried a few cooking classes in Prague, and then it was, to be quite honest, it was always rubbish. It was so many people, so like it wasn't personal at all, like the teacher didn't even know what, my name or where we coming from, what's the purpose. And I was thinking that I'd love to do it, but just much better, much more personal. So I came up with the idea of hosting very limited amount of people, and we're talking about 5-6 people. And as much as I love traveling, I love to connect like different cultures. So what I do, let's say twice a week, I had a group of people who coming from different places, and I teach them how to cook. And it's more than that. We start at local markets, the biggest one what we have in Holešovice district. We buy together all the ingredients, or most of them. We taste some local wine, and we go to my little kitchen studio, and we actually create 3-course menu.
That's awesome. Like, and how is, like, you get people from around the world? You said from different cultures. So how do they find your classes?
Yeah, basically, they can find it on. They can find it online on my website, which is my surname and my name, so molinaondrej.com. I also provide, you can book it through Airbnb, which works amazingly with this. So it's like set up as an Airbnb experience, and many other servers. I've got also in touch with local guide, so they can recommend me because they know I do a solid job. So yeah, so mostly it's a website or different like internet servers for people who are tourists. So
that's awesome. And what do you have planned next for your career?
It's quite recent when I stopped working full time as a head chef. I was a bit drained, and I wasn't quite happy because all these little things what I tried to fit into my schedule, it just it wasn't possible to do it properly. So there's a few things. We're starting a little pop-up project. We already have scheduled a few events. I have big love for Central American food, amongst many other cuisine. I like this one very much as well. So we came up with a little project called Fidel Gastro, which is, I hope you find it funny as much as I do. And we're gonna be cooking like Cuban, Central American street food in like some nice event with the music and DJs. So looking very much forward to cook for the crowd again. I'm going to be surrounded by good chefs which I know for a long time. So that's like a fun pop-up project. I continue working on my classes, making better. I have a few set up for tech people. I'm currently working on like a very basic cooking class for people who just need to get a little bit more confidence. People who probably don't even know how to work with knife, how to debone chicken or fillet a fish. So very basic class for people. So looking forward to do that. And I'm starting my own podcast, so you'll be invited very soon. It's called Footprint, and it's about obviously gastronomy, cooking, but also a little bit of traveling and sustainability. And the last project which I'd like to mention is my own little kitchen manual. It's called Low Waste Chef. The website and Instagram page is currently in reconstructions, and I'm working with amazing photograph, and we're working on make like a little manual for kitchen, and also for people like regular people who don't run kitchen but they cook at home. And the little manual should show them how to produce less waste. Let's say there's very simple hacks and tricks how to produce less waste, with a little bit of a change in your mindset, you actually realize that's so simple. You produce less waste, you save up your money, and it's of course better for the environment. So there'll be Instagram and website page with tips how to do that. Also a few like videos how to make things from scratch, because people really don't realize that you can make things like yogurt, or I don't know, like I've got a famous video of potato scraps, like potato peeling chips,
Yeah.
Like it's got more than 1 million views, and everyone is like, oh my god, that's amazing, you actually don't have to waste potato peels and you can make delicious snack out of it. But for me it's so obvious, because there used to be like star food in one of the restaurants where I worked, but trying to get into the like the people's mind. Like these things are so obvious for me. Like I would never ever waste it. I would make meal out of it. So I'm trying to show it to the people. So that's another project called Low Waste Chef.
Man, you are a busy man. There are so many projects. There are cool projects, by the way. Like seriously, and I know how hard it is to actually trying to understand what's obvious for you, but may not be for like 90% of the population, and get that step back is actually a quite hard process. To come back there and say like, okay, like I can talk about this. But you touched now something really, really important, really cool, that is sustainability, right? And like it's a subject that I've been bringing a lot to our podcast here. So I want already to play a little game about the future, because sustainability, it's like something that's being talked now, but a lot of business owners are thinking that's something that they should think for the future. But let's just try to play a game. I've been speaking to some chefs and some hotel managers around the world who use technology to improve their kitchen and like their ways of manage waste, or even to understand what comes back from people's plates, so they use less of that and more of what is going off. It's amazing. But what do you see as the kitchen changing in the next 5 years, and when it comes to technology, when it comes to the future?
It's a very good question. You know, I'm not, to be quite honest, I'm not technology freak like many of my friends. You know, I'm sort of like, I'll be like Will Smith in was it iRobot, when he opens the old toolbox of old Converse. You know, that's me in the future. But I think there's a few cool ideas. I hope many of our listeners, they know London restaurant Silo, which is a prime example of sustainability. And what I like to say, even the little details, like they don't actually have a menu in their restaurant. They don't like waste paper for menu, because the menu is changing very often. So they've got screen projectors, which are projecting the menu on the wall. It's like such a small thing. It's such a brilliant idea, where actually you can just point out on the wall and just introduce the food to the customer as a waiter, or as a customer you can just like point and I'd like to get that. So for me, little things like this is amazing, because think of that. How much paper would be saved each year if more restaurants would have screen projector as a silo. So for me, that's amazing. But apart from that, I've never been thinking about it too much, to be honest. But I'm just hoping for more restaurants like Silo leading the industry and showing to the rest of the restaurants and hotels how to work more sustainable. Because now I think also Michelin Guide kind of having a nice approach towards it, because not a long time ago they started award restaurants with the Green Star, which is, you know, that's a star for sustainability and a sustainable approach. So that's amazing. I think it's very prestigious, and maybe there's going to be more restaurants who would like to follow that, you know, that steps, and be like, maybe we can be awarded a Green Star, because it actually, you don't have to earn 1, 2, or 3 star. You could be 0 star, let's say, and still be awarded Green Star for sustainability. And I think it's quite encouraging.
That's awesome. And Ondrej, how can people follow you on Instagram or get in touch with you, get your services, get your projects, support you?
So my Instagram, where most of the stuff is happening, it's very simple. It's chefs_ Ondrej Molina, Ondrej Molina, and from that you can, the same name if you use for TikTok, or what else is there, YouTube channel. So Ondrej Molina is the name, and you can follow me there and hit a comment on my videos, or sign up for some class, or hire me as a personal chef, which is something what I like to do very much. or come up as a guest for the Fidel Gastro pop-up project in the near future.
That's awesome, Ondrej. That was a cool chat. Thank you very much. I'll put all your links, of course, in the description of this episode. And please, let's bring more energy. Let's bring more education. Let's bring more sustainability to the kitchen as well. And will be an honor to listen to your podcast as well. It was a great chat. Thank you very much, man.
Likewise. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and have a good day. Yeah, and good mainly.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Schulering, thank you very much for listening. If you like this episode, please consider sharing it with your contacts. We want to reach more and more people and get them to evolve a little bit their ideas. And why not someday we can reach the hospitality we want to. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.